Hey guys, this is Marcel with GL, and today we're going to go over the Esthetics State Board Practical Exam Kit. Now before we dive into this, I just want to get into a quick disclaimer about the contents of our test kit. Our kits are designed as a suggested set of supplies you might need for your practical examination. However, it does not include a mannequin head, a holder, a mannequin hand, curling iron, a blow dryer, or a storage container. Now be sure you purchase those items separately before your test. It's super important to remember that each candidate is responsible for what supplies to bring, how to organize them, and how to use them during the practical test. This is a great starting point, but ultimately it's up to you to ensure that you have everything you need. Also, exam requirements can change, so I always recommend checking the latest candidate information bulletin to stay up to date and fully prepared. All right, let's get into the unboxing. Now, before we get started, let me just tell you a little bit about the testing agencies in the US. As of the making of this video, we have two national agencies, NIC and PSI National. NIC stands for National Interstate Council. NIC stands for National Interstate Council of State Board of Cosmetology. That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. So just check with your state regulation, your candidate information bulletin to know which agency you're going to be testing with, because they have slightly different regulations. If we don't have a kit for your state, will probably be because they have their own standards and we have not gotten to that yet. So right now we're focusing on NIC and PSI National. So let's get started. Now at GL, we organize our state board kits by task. So each bag is essentially one task that you're going to have to test with in your practical exam. There's one exception to that, and we'll go over that a little bit in more details later, but it's the general supplies. So general supplies are supplies that you may need to set up your workstation and your client preps, and there will be some supplies that you may need throughout the test. For example, your hand sanitizer or disinfectant wipes. Also, just note that not all states require all tests. Again, look at your CIB to know what you will need. Now, to make this a bit easier, you can buy our state board kits per state on our website, and we've already done the work of just putting together what you will need for each specific state. Now, the first bags in this kit will be general supplies. It actually comes in two bags because there's quite a bit of supplies in there. And as I mentioned earlier, you're going to have your hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, and all that good stuff. Now, Emily, which is behind the camera, will actually show you what's inside these bags in more details.
Hi everyone, it's Emily. In our general supplies bags, the first bag will have a hand sanitizer pump, one short cape, an empty water bottle labeled water, 24 paper towels, one small pack of facial tissues, 12 disposable gloves, a reclosable bag labeled cotton extras, which contain gauze pads, cotton rounds, foam wedges, 3 sponges, and cotton-tipped applicators. And then a reclosable bag labeled spatulas extra, which contain extra plastic spatulas. And then in bag 2, we'll have 6 white salon towels, 3 paper bags labeled items to be disinfected, trash and soiled linens, EPA-registered germicidal disinfectant wipes, and 3 trash liners.
The next task will be basic facial. It includes all of your simulated product for this portion of your test. You will also need a mannequin head for this task, and we do have one that is specifically designed for actually facial massage and training and will be ideal for the aesthetics test. However, you can also use a regular cosmetology mannequin head for it. I will show you later what we suggest for this test.
Next, we have basic facial. Those supplies include 1 facial towel, a reclosable bag labeled cotton, which includes cotton rounds, 12-ply gauze pads, and sponges, reclosable bag labeled spatulas, which include 6 plastic spatulas, a microfiber headband, a client drape, a disposable bouffant cap head cover, facial exfoliating brush, a glycolic fan brush for facial masks, and for your Cosmock Simulated products, you'll have an exfoliant, a facial cleansing cream, a massage cream, a moisturizer, an astringent, a facial mask cream, and a sunscreen lotion.
Next, we have hair removal of the eyebrows. If you test with PSI National, they're going to call that eyebrow tweezing and waxing, but it's the same thing. It comes with a simulated wax.
Next, we have hair removal of the eyebrows. Those supplies include a disposable headband, slant-tip tweezers, a reclosable bag labeled clean waxing supplies, which contain 5 small wax strips, 5 small wooden wax applicators, 8 cotton rounds, and 3 plastic spatulas. Gleam Labs all-purpose antiseptic, and for your Cosmock products, you'll have a simulated pre-epilation product, a soft wax, and a post-epilation product.
Next, we have the first aid kit. Now, if you're testing with NIC, you will have a test called blood exposure procedure. This is what you're going to be using for that. It contains everything that's needed for that task. If you're testing with PSI National, you're not going to have the blood exposure task, but we will still include the first aid kit just for safety reasons.
Next up, we'll have the first aid kit or the blood exposure procedure. Those supplies include 4 disposable gloves, a paper bag labeled trash, 2 reclosable plastic bags labeled blood exposure, a sealed and reclosable bag labeled mini first aid kit, which contain flex fabric bandages, sheer bandages, 2 packets of antibiotic ointment, alcohol swabs, cleansing towelettes, and 6 waterproof bandages. And those will all be supplied in a sealed box.
Next, we have facial makeup. It can also be called makeup application. Again, it contains all that you will need. We have also included a small makeup set, has everything you need in there.
Next, we have facial makeup. The supplies for that include a Makeup Artist Cosmetic Essentials Kit, which includes eyeshadow, powder, blushers, lip gloss, foundation, creamy eyeshadow, mascara, and an eye pencil. A reclosable bag labeled makeup tools, which contain 3 double-sided eyeshadow applicators, 3 mascara wands, and 3 lip brushes. And then another bag labeled cotton, which contain 4 foam makeup wedges and 4 facial cotton rounds. And then finally, a 10-well makeup palette.
Next, we have Particle Microderm Abrasion or Particle Microderm. Again, this has everything you need. We have a simulated wand with a cord, and it has the bowl and all the simulated product. You're going to be needing to bring some water to your test, just a water bottle or something. It will be required at least for this task, maybe for other tasks as well.
Next, we have Particle Microderm. Those supplies include a simulated microdermabrasion wand, a stainless steel bowl, 2 pairs of safety glasses, basic procedure face mask, 4 disposable gloves, a facial treatment brush, 1 facial towel, and then a reclosable bag labeled cotton and spatulas that contain gauze pads, sponges, cotton rounds, and plastic spatulas. And then for your Cosmock Simulated products, you'll have a skin prep or degreaser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen lotion.
Next, we have Eyelash Enhancements. Again, all the supplies you need. We've also included the false eyelashes and adhesive in there.
Next, for Eyelash Enhancement, those supplies include 2 disposable mascara wands, a disposable headband, a reclosable bag labeled clean supplies, which contain cotton-tipped applicators and cotton rounds, 1 pair of strip lashes, strip lash adhesive, tweezers, small cosmetic scissors, and a Cosmock Simulated Skin Cleanser.
Next, we have the hair removal of the upper lip. This task is a bit particular because it will require the use of a wax warmer and a hard wax. If you purchase our kit, you will be offered this as an optional purchase. Since you may already have that in hand, you may not need to buy this part, but specifically hard wax and a wax warmer will be required for that task.
And then finally, we have hair removal of the upper lip. Those supplies include 4 disposable gloves, a facial towel, a reclosable bag labeled clean waxing supplies containing cotton rounds, and small wooden wax applicators. And then for your Cosmock Simulated products, you'll have a pre-epilation lotion and a post-epilation lotion. And then your optional supplies, which you will need to purchase separately, is an electric wax warmer and a 5-ounce hard wax. And we'll have those 2 items linked down in the description for you as well.
Before we end, just want to go over a couple of tips to help you prepare for your test. I call those pro tips.
Pro tips with Marcel.
Number 1 thing, just get familiar with your kit before you actually go to take your test. We've included a checklist with our kit that has every single item that are included. So I suggest you go through bag by bag, make sure you know what's inside of each bag, make sure you're not missing anything as well. The other thing is you may want to get prepared ahead of time with all of your supplies. As an example, there might be items in the task bags that come in sealed containers that you need to cut open, for example. It's easier to do that at home than to do that on the day of testing. We also suggest you bring a good quality mannequin for your test. This is what we would recommend. It's a specialized mannequin designed for massage, makeup, and facial training. So this is what it actually looks like. And as you can notice, it has a flat back, but it also has a mount that you can mount it on a clamp. It has closed eyes. It is designed for facial or makeup application. There is no pre-applied makeup or anything like that. You can use it flat on a table. If you have a holding clamp, it can also be mounted and adjusted to a tilt to your liking. But this would be ideal for this exam. And finally, I always like to suggest to seek professional training before the day of your test. That would not be a problem if you are attending school or if you've attended school. They will have prepared you for your license test. However, if you are an apprentice or if you transferred from a different state, then if you're not familiar with the process, I suggest that you get with an instructor or a professional to help you prepare. It's going to be a very stressful day, and the more prepared you are, the better your chances are of passing on the first time. If you like our videos, please hit like, subscribe, click that notification bell, and share. This is a great help for us. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.